Hello, I'm Galen. I hope you are well. I have tried recording this video a few times using a script that I wrote down, but I sound like a robot, so instead I'm going to try going off script and just see what comes out naturally, even if it's a bit more stuttery and there's more mistakes. At least I'm not sounding like I'm dead. So this is part one of a small video series that I'm making, where I am going to document my process of making the character that you are seeing being drawn on screen. My hope for this video is that it helps or inspires you to create your own characters and have fun drawing. So quickly before we get into the video, I just want to have a disclaimer. While I have done digital art for a few years now, I still have so much to learn, and this is only my current process of character creation. So just keep in mind this is only one of many ways that you can go about doing this, and whatever helps you in this video, that's great, use it. But if there's something that just doesn't gel well with you, feel free to disregard it and do your own thing. The first thing I like to do when creating a character is to start visualizing it in my mind. Just get a clear idea of what I want out of this character. What helps me personally is I like to either write down on a piece of paper or in some kind of digital notepad some key notes about the character I want to create. So in this case, I am making a character that is supposed to be part of a world and cast of other characters that I've already made. The character in question is going to be a Serval, which is a type of African wildcat. She is going to be a pirate, and the sort of theme for my world is a 1700s style inspired fantasy world with a little bit of steampunk in it, not too much. And I wanted to have her be a tall, slender character, but not too curvy. And another important feature is that she is a sharpshooter, so I wanted her to have some sort of rifle. I was thinking like a gas-powered weird thing. I don't know if it would functionally work, but I just wanted something cool. I'll maybe try and design the weapon a bit more later, but for now we're just making the character. So moving on, what else do I want from this character? I want them to be sort of like a confident, extroverted character, sort of tomboyish, and I also wanted her to have a bunch of cool piercings, especially on her ears, because servals have big ears and that gives a lot of fun room to play around with some piercings. And to give some more depth to your character, something that can be helpful is to think of the character's strength, at least one strength and one flaw. So I'm going to be naming this character Sadie. So Sadie is a very skilled marksman. However, her over-competitiveness and her need to prove herself can sometimes make some conflict between other characters. Once I knew what I wanted for this OC, the next step was to start gathering reference. So things like poses, different clothing that I thought would work for the character. But I want to step away from the time-lapse right now and show you some of the different iterations of the first sketch drafts I did, which is a very important part of the process. Here I have the original sketches that led up to the final design. So I tried many different ideas of the clothing and just explored what I wanted to go for. So for this first one, I really liked the main more thin shape of the gun, and the face I wasn't too happy with, and the outfit, it sort of had the idea I wanted. I liked the idea of the glove, but the top and the pants just wasn't working for me. For the second sketch, I got what would pretty much be the final version of the pants. I really like the shaping of them, and while I do still like the top she's wearing, The problem I ran into with that was that it covered all of her spots, and that was something I really wanted to show through. Moving on to the third sketch, I added yet another piercing onto the ear, this time a chain-like piercing to match the theme I was starting to go for with the pants of little hanging bits. You can see there's some string here as well. For this next sketch, I tried something much different and ended up really liking the top. The skirt, while it's fine on its own, I feel didn't fit this character's personality. Also, what both of these two images share that I don't like in these sketches is that I added a pistol as well as a sidearm, but then she has like 3 weapons going on here and it was just getting a bit too cluttered. Finally, for this last and final sketch, which ended up being the final design, sometimes the sketches you do won't be in order of what you like, so maybe you'll go back to the second or even the first sketch that you did and end up using that. And you don't need to do as many sketches as I did here. I just find that the more iterations you do, the more you can explore and come up with new ideas and mix and match the best parts that you come up with to make the most appealing design possible. I did these sketches in the span of around 3 or 4 days. I took breaks in between, and I was ready to make my decision out of these 4, but I was really struggling to choose just one. So what I found I liked the most out of all of these were the pants of the second sketch I did, and the top of the last one. And combining those 2 outfits as well as a few little bits from the other 2 sketches, I came up with this for the final design, which I much prefer out of all of these. So that ended up working out for me. And also one thing I want to mention that's very important is I know these rough sketches, they all have the clothing on, but I always first just draw the body without the clothing, otherwise you'll run into issues where legs don't line up or proportions are looking wonky, and this just makes sure everything stays in check when you add the clothing. Also, it's nice to have the layer underneath while you sketch, so it's easy to change out parts of the outfit and redo things. And here we are back at the time lapse. That's pretty much everything I wanted to say in this video. Now I'm just finishing up the line art. And soon I'll just touch briefly on what I was thinking when doing the colors, and then we'll end this video. Going on to the colors now, I started filling out the base for the body and the clothing. Looking at the references I had, I really liked the brown and black scheme, which is very similar to what I have for my other Pirate crew members. I'll maybe pop a few images of them on the screen now. And I felt a nice blue color for the eyes would work well, in contrast to the more warm tones that you'll be having. So now I'm just doing the patterns of the serval. I made a little gradient from more orangey color to a more pale yellow across the body, give some variation. And all my pirates have a matching tattoo on their body to symbolize their crew. I first started with some red accents, and eventually I just settled on a brown and black. And that's about it. That is my current process of making characters. The next video I'd like to make with this character is going to be a reference sheet and a expression sheet, doing different expressions that fit the character's personality and such. I hope this helped in some way. I hope it wasn't too boring or my voice was annoying. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Have fun drawing. Bye for now and take care.